Vicki Gervais of the Greater Gainesville Chamber, and I'm very happy today to be here with you with Gabriel Lopez. He is running for a school board seat for District 1. Nice to meet you, Gabriel.
Nice to meet you, Vicki.
Do you like Gabriel or Gabe?
I go by both, so whatever you prefer. Yeah, I have some people call me Gabriel, some people call me Gabe. I like them both.
All right, well, we'll go with Gabriel, I guess, and since we're talking serious business today.
Yeah.
All right, well, why don't you introduce yourself to everyone, and then we have about 5 questions for you, and then time for a closer.
Yeah, so my name is Gabriel Lopez. I was recently a kindergarten teacher here at Terwilliger Elementary in Alachua County. I was also a BRT at Rawlings a couple years ago before I started at Terwilliger. So my background primarily is in business management. I got into education after my vending machine business started doing really well, and I had time to think about how I really wanted to make a change and affect our community, and I always wanted to teach. So I became a teacher. As many people have been vocal and disappointed with the current state of Alachua County education, I decided to get more involved this year when I saw the upcoming elections, and so I'm running for District 1. My background, like I said, in business leadership, HR leadership, logistical operations, coupled with education, with recent education, primarily in elementary education, like kindergarten, I think would be a powerful asset to the school board, because there are a lot of things that are happening in our elementary classrooms that a lot of people just aren't aware of. And so I would like to make a big change in these things.
Very good. Okay, well, now I think my questions will allow you to amplify a few of those things and tell us a little bit more. So the first question is a great segue, and I will tell everyone that no one got questions ahead of time. So this is just a good segue on Gabriel's part. But the first question is, what particular skills and experiences will you bring to this office?
Yeah, so as an involved parent with my daughter in going into 6th grade, I've seen the way the schools have operated for the past several years. And there seems to be a lack of leadership accountability at many levels. And so when I say leadership accountability, we have people that are appointed to leadership positions that don't have any leadership experience. And so when it comes to education, I think there are wonderful educators who have been in this industry for a long time, but they don't know how to lead. They don't know how to manage people. They don't know how to manage operations. They don't know how to show basic leadership compassion. That's part of leadership integrity with my background in business management that I'm very, very familiar with. And so I think that when it comes to leadership accountability, I would like to bring my skills in that sense, where we have not only on the school board, but administrative members at the school level who just really don't know how to lead. And so there's a lot of processes that kind of fall apart. They're not communicated. And you hear that in the community from the parents. You see it from the student performance. And you see it by not only teachers leaving the profession, but parents removing their children from the classroom because of the lack of leadership that is demonstrated in our schools.
Okay. All right. Again, a good segue to question 2, which is, what would be your top priorities and projects if you're elected?
My top priority will be behavior intervention plans are something that we have not discussed too much. So when it comes to elementary education and the behavior of the younger students, it all starts with the younger children. When behaviors are dysregulated and they're just kind of pushed on and pushed through, we have children who are not reading in kindergarten and 1st grade and 2nd grade, and they're not being held accountable for their behaviors. So I think when it comes to behavior, there's a big component of mental health that's not being dealt with. We have very limited data right now on our budget for next year. Like the school budget's very sketchy, to say the least. But I could see that they've taken money away this past year for our school counselors, and I've seen that in my school last year where we had to lose a counselor just because of funding. So I would prioritize funding and policy when it comes to behavior intervention for younger students, um, and just the administrative accountability for these things happening at the school level. So that would require some policy change as well, because there's a lot of policies that are not being executed, which are in line with the state laws, like the state statutes that determine these things. They're simply not happening at the elementary level right now.
Okay, very good. What are your thoughts on the Alachua County Reads initiative?
The Alachua County Reads initiative.
Yes.
I'm not familiar with it.
That's the well. That tells us something. That's so. It is a partnership between the county and the Children's Trust to get more literacy programs in the schools.
Oh, that's wonderful. So, and that does say a big thing that I've been teaching in schools for, the past 3 years, and I haven't heard anything of it. I know there are a lot of community resources, and there are a lot of community partners. The Children's Trust is one of them, and there's one that I work with that is called Strong Minded Mentoring, where a big part of our disparity is in literacy. The literacy gap, not just the achievement gap with amongst minorities, but just at the way our children are delayed right now with early literacy. I think the Reads initiative sounds like a great thing. There should be a lot more of those things happening. And when those partnerships are there, but the educators are unaware of them, or the schools aren't doing anything to partner with them, like that, again, comes down to the leadership communication, where, the Reads initiative, to just hear about it sounds like a wonderful thing, but if it's not being implemented by the teachers, and if it's not being communicated by the administrators, it's not something that is really going to be effective in our schools.
Yeah, it's as I understand it, and again, I'm not an expert on all things school board. As I understand it, it's some programs partnering with some other programs to bring books into the classroom, and some other things. So it may be a thing that you just don't know about the name of it, because we all give fancy titles to things, but there might be some of the thing. But it is also a new program. So
Okay,
your point is well taken.
Yeah.
That when all of us don't know about it, then it is an issue. All right, terrific. Next one is something that's been under a lot of discussion and has brought in a lot of community members. What are your thoughts on the Alachua County Schools redistricting and school consolidation plans?
I could talk a lot about this.
It's generated a lot of conversation.
I get it. I understand the data behind it. I see, I've looked at the map. I do have some concerns where a lot of people, for me, when this started being discussed years ago, before they demolished the old Terwilliger building, for me, it stems back to when the Terwilliger building was being discussed for demolition and for this new building. They had all these community engagement sessions that, it's all in vain. Like nobody wanted that building torn down. And what it did was essentially tear down the poor Black school, because that's what we're talking about. It was the poor low income school on this side of town, and they moved it far out west. And the redistricting, it's Terwilliger's the main school that is affected. If you really look at it, to see the demographics that have split up in that particular zone, where now that part of town is going to several different schools, and now we have this nice big shiny new building that's on the wealthy side of town. So I think that there are a lot of unspoken, very clear motives that happened with this long kind of stalled rezoning, and the way it was executed, where we have very quick, brief community sessions that a lot of parents just don't have time to attend, or they're not really heard. It just all seems kind of the way it was done. It just doesn't feel right. A lot of people are upset about it. I think it could have been communicated far more effectively. And again, that comes with leadership, accountability, and compassion. Like there should have been a lot more communication to the families that were affected by it, especially the families that, the people on the other side of the road are zoned for a different school. I mean, that's happened in a few different communities where people are asking for these exemptions and they're being denied. So I know that the rezoning was necessary because of the enrollment. So I'm not saying it shouldn't have been done, but I think the way the schools were closed, the way it was communicated, the way it was kind of seemingly rushed on people without very clear understanding as to why, the community needs to know why these things are happening and what the motive and the intentions are. Because when they're not communicated, this disrupts many lives. This disrupts a lot of people's routines. And it's one of those things that makes the school board continue to have a very poor reputation in this town.
Okay. All right. And lastly, what's prompted you to run for a seat? And you touched on this in your opening, but what prompted you to run for a seat for the school board right now?
Yeah, so again, like I was joking with you before, I had no idea how political these things are. I was very happy teaching kindergarten, and as an educator, this is something that I thought I would be able to do for a very long time. As a business person, I have I have my basic needs and bills taken care of with my business. I didn't get into teaching because I felt like, oh my gosh, I have to pay my bill. Like I wanted to teach. There are not many male educators in lower elementary, let alone kindergarten. I hear all the time people, oh, kindergarten, I don't know how you do it. Like there's so many people that won't do it. And so to see how important it is to have this effect on kids' lives, and to know that I did a great job, and that I was rated as a highly effective educator for a past few years now, but I spoke up too much about the behavior concerns in our school. I spoke up too much about the broken processes in our school. And so to be non-renewed simply because of challenging the way that things are done, it was really eye-opening to me. I could have easily just walked away from this, like a lot of people do. A lot of people just walk away and they're like, I'll do something else. But I see the struggles that our children have in our community, and I see the lack of leadership and the lack of appropriate management in our system, not just at the school level, but overall the entire district. I know I can make a big impact on the school district. So when I started researching things and I started looking into the school board, I found out the elections were coming up. I got into it pretty late. A lot of these people have, they're career politicians. I could say I'm the only candidate. I'm not. I don't have any political motives, and I'm the only person in my race that I'm not backed by either of the political parties. Like I don't have much support from anyone really. So it's not a political thing for me. I'm a concerned dad. I'm a leader. I'm a really disappointed educator in how our schools have been ran for even before I started teaching. Like just seeing things with my son and my daughter going through schools here like that. I had a conversation with one of my peers before my last few days, and she was like, well, what can we do about it? Like, how can we make this change? I was like, well, this is something we could run, and we could try to, start changing some policies, and we could try to turn things around and get the school board, make the school board aware of things that right now they really have no idea. It seems like they have no idea what's happening in lower elementary grades. And so for me, it's just believing that I can work with large teams, small teams. I could lead, and I know I can make a change for our children and for our community, because right now it's embarrassing. All of it. If you're into numbers and data, anyone that works for our school district should be embarrassed of what our county has to offer right now. So that's why I decided to run.
Okay, terrific. All right, well, now you've got a couple minutes where the floor is yours. You can just wrap us up, or if there's anything else we didn't talk about that you wanted to make sure we cover, the floor is yours.
Okay, I don't even know if I answered all the questions thoroughly. I have a lot on my mind when it comes to my experiences as a teacher. When I see teachers that give up, and I read about teachers that give up, and then teachers that are forced out, It's unbelievable. My late mother-in-law, who I love dearly, she was an elementary teacher for many years, and she was one of the people that encouraged me and inspired me to become a teacher. And so when I think of many people that are just disappointed with the way things are, like I know I could change things, not just with my business leadership background and my HR background, these things. I just my heart is in the place of how can our children continue to go to schools that are filthy? Our schools are filthy inside. We have people that are not taking their jobs. Not only they don't take them seriously, but they don't understand the importance of what their role is in this child's life. They just see it as a just a checkbox. It's just the thing they're supposed to do that day. And so I believe I can make many changes when it comes to policy and when it comes to funding appropriately and changing our budgets. There's so much to talk about. It's hard to narrow it down, but I hope you guys vote for me because I will make some wonderful changes for our children.
All right, Gabriel. Well, thank you very much. It was great spending some time with you this morning, getting to know you a little bit better. I'm going to echo what Gabriel said. And as a community, that is what we can do. If you like the way things are, if you don't, what we can do is get out and vote. So we hope you will take the time to get to know all of our candidates and show up for voting either early or on Tuesday, August 18th for our primary. Thanks again, Gabriel. Good luck out in the campaign trail.
Thank you, Vic. It was great meeting you.